Hey guys, and welcome to the concept series. What we want to do in this series is give you guys a little bit more of an idea of the why behind the programming and some of the concepts that we will use in order to create the program. What we're going to be doing now is looking at peaking for competition. Now, in one of the previous videos we looked at deload. However, peaking for the competition is different and therefore needs to be addressed in a different way. Obviously, the two main differences are at the end of a deload, we're just taking it as a rest, whereas with the peaking phase, we actually have a competition or some form of event at the end of it. There are certain similarities between the two. The main one is the underlying principle of reducing volume. So both of them reduce volume. The main difference in the peak is that we actually maintain the intensity as we get closer to the competition. Now, why it gets hard to write a completely set peak for competition, especially for CrossFit competitions, is because we do not know what the event will be 90% of the time. Therefore, you can't just write a certain standard set of movements, standard set of time zones that you need to be working in. You have to vary it depending on what we know. So our peaking phases will vary from a few weeks to just a few days, and this depends on the type of competition and the importance of the competition. So for example, the CrossFit Games is the biggest competition that we will have as a CrossFit community. It's our Olympics, our World Championships, and therefore the importance is very high. The training or peaking phase up to that competition will also be a lot higher. We know that the volume of the games is going to be high, so that also leads well to this longer peaking phase. However, some athletes may go to a one-day competition, mainly for fun, they're not too worried about it, and therefore the peaking phase may only be a few days in order to make sure that they can maintain their training through that period. However, the concept of both a long peaking and a short peaking remain the same. We've reduced our volume, we've maintained our intensity. And the thing is, as we get closer and closer to the competition, that volume will subside more and more and more, and the intensity will be maintained at that extremely reduced volume. Even the few days before the competition, we also won't be doing any movements that are higher risk of injury. Now is not the time to be testing new things in that phase. So the more you know about the competition in terms of the events you'll be doing, the more specific you can be in your peaking phase. The less you know, the less specific you can be. Now, obviously, if we know that we're going to be having a 1RM snatch compared to a 1RM clean and jerk, our peaking phase needs to reflect that. If we know we're going to be swimming and not running, the peaking phase needs to reflect that. And so on. If we know we have ring muscle ups rather than bar muscle ups, the peaking phase needs to reflect that. So in essence, our peaking phase leading up to a competition, we will be reducing our volume. However, we will be maintaining the intensity reflected in the movements that we will see in the competition. Now, I would like to be able to write a specific set peaking for all you guys and for every competition. However, it just wouldn't work because of the variance in them, and therefore we have to go off these principles. And that principle will adapt, so the principle will remain the same. The actual peak will look different depending on those factors that I've just mentioned. So I know this concept's a little vague, however, with the text we've written below, that will also help you guys for this. And if you have any specific questions, please reach out to the coaches, let us know your concerns, and we will be able to help you.